The champagne flutes chimed like warning bells as billionaire tech mogul Richard Sterling held court in the penthouse suite. Below him, Manhattan glittered like a kingdom he'd already conquered. He was about to secure the biggest investment of his career, $2 billion from the legendary venture firm no one had ever seen in person. Then, his new assistant approached a woman in an elegant but simple black dress. "Mr. Sterling, your investors have arrived." Richard didn't even look at her. "Get them drinks." "I don't shake hands with the staff." The woman's eyes narrowed slightly. "I think you'll want to make an exception." That's when the real CEO of Sterling Technologies rushed over, face pale. "Richard? This is Olivia Hayes, managing partner of Hayes Capital." The billion-dollar hand he'd refused to shake was now about to crush his entire empire. The gala at the Four Seasons was Richard Sterling's victory lap. At 38, he was the tech world's golden boy, Stanford, Silicon Valley, and now on the verge of becoming the youngest billionaire in Manhattan. The $2 billion from Hayes Capital would cement his legacy. His actual assistant, a nervous young man named Kevin, had called in sick. The event planner had sent a temp, or so Richard thought when he saw the poised black woman coordinating with staff. "Make sure the investors' champagne is chilled," he told her. Not waiting for a response, Olivia Hayes watched him stride away. At 45, she'd built Hayes Capital from her grandmother's basement to one of the most powerful and secretive venture firms in the world. She preferred to scout investments incognito, watching how people treated those they perceived as beneath them. Her senior partner, Robert Chen, appeared at her side. "He has no idea who you are." "Good," Olivia said softly. "Let's see how he handles the power he already has." For 30 minutes, she observed Richard. How he snapped at the waitstaff. How he checked his reflection on every surface. How he held his investors captive with stories of his genius. Then came the moment that would cost him everything. She approached to introduce herself properly. "Mr. Sterling, your investors have arrived." Richard was mid-sentence, boasting to a city councilman about his new AI platform. He waved her away without looking. "Get them drinks." "I don't shake hands with the staff." The councilman stared in horror. "Richard, this is—" But Olivia had already turned away, a small, cold smile on her face. Robert Chen intercepted Olivia by the elevators. "We're leaving?" She pressed the down button. "He's exactly what we feared. Brilliant technology, terrible character." Back in the penthouse, Richard's COO pulled him aside, voice frantic. "That was Olivia Hayes. Hayes Capital." Richard's champagne flute nearly slipped from his hand. "The temp? She was testing you, you idiot." Richard stormed toward the elevators, his confidence cracking for the first time all evening. He caught them just as the doors opened. "Ms. Hayes, a terrible misunderstanding." Olivia turned, her expression unreadable. "There was no misunderstanding, Mr. Sterling. You were perfectly clear." The elevator doors started to close. Richard jammed his hand between them. "Please, my platform could revolutionize healthcare. We're talking about saving lives." "Technology doesn't save lives," Olivia said calmly. "People with good character save lives. Your platform in the hands of someone who sees staff as beneath him, that's a weapon waiting to be built." Robert handed Richard a business card. "Our withdrawal letter will be in your inbox by morning." The elevator doors closed, leaving Richard Sterling staring at his reflection in the polished brass. A man who'd just lost $2 billion in the time it took to insult the wrong person. The news broke at 6 a.m. the next morning. Hayes Capital had not only pulled their investment but issued a rare public statement about concerns over leadership character and corporate culture. Richard's phone exploded. Board members, investors, his mother. By noon, his stock had dropped 40%. By 3 p.m., 3 board members had resigned. Meanwhile, Olivia sat in her modest Tribeca office reviewing another proposal. This one from a young black woman in Detroit developing clean water technology. Robert watched her work. "You could have just reduced the investment. Given him a chance to learn." Olivia looked up. "When a man shows you who he is, believe him the first time. My grandmother taught me that. She approved the Detroit proposal, $50 million to start. This one greeted the security guard by name. Offered to help clean up when someone spilled coffee." The phone rang. Richard Sterling for the 7th time that day. Robert raised an eyebrow. Aren't you curious what he has to say? Olivia let it go to voicemail. I already know. He's sorry he got caught. Not sorry for who he is. She picked up her grandmother's photo from the desk. The woman who'd cleaned offices to put her through college. The woman who'd taught her that how you treat people when you have nothing tells you everything about who they'll be when they have everything. 6 months later, Olivia watched the young Detroit entrepreneur accept an award for technological innovation. The water purification system was already saving lives in 3 countries. Richard Sterling's company had been acquired at a fire sale price. The technology was valuable. The man behind it, not so much. At the award ceremony, a humbled Richard approached her. He looked older. Wiser, perhaps? I understand now, he said quietly. That day, you weren't just testing me. You were protecting all the people who would have been under my leadership. Olivia studied him. The arrogance was gone, replaced by something resembling humility. My grandmother cleaned offices for men like you, she said. They never saw her, but she saw them. She knew which ones would fail. Richard nodded. I'm starting over, smaller, working with inner-city kids on coding. Good, Olivia said. Maybe you'll learn something from them. As she walked away, she felt her grandmother's presence. The woman whose hands, rough from cleaning, had held hers every night while she did homework. The woman who'd taught her that true power wasn't in dominating others, but in elevating them. Olivia looked at her own hands, the ones a billionaire had refused to shake. The ones that had redirected $2 billion toward people who understood that every hand, regardless of its work, deserved respect, and she knew, watching the young entrepreneur from Detroit light up the stage, that some refusals weren't rejections at all. They were the most powerful investments she could ever make. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.